Okay, page 4. This is going to be a short one because we're going to shift the last paragraph over to page 5. It's a little flow better. And so starting on page 4, we have another example. A young man who wished to convert was told by the Bet Din that he would have to move into the Orthodox neighborhood of town and pay $5,000 to cover the cost of tutors. When he explained that he came from a poor family and he could not afford the rents in the Orthodox neighborhood nor the $5,000 fee, he was told that the Bet Din could not help him. He went to another Bet Din in that city but was given the same terms. He then enrolled in a conversion program with a conservative rabbi. The raised standards have turned this young man and so many more like him away from orthodoxy altogether. So they've created a situation where now, if you can't afford to convert, which this is not how it's supposed to be. And for those who don't know, when it says that he enrolled in a program with a conservative rabbi, this does not mean conservative like conservative versus liberal. There's Reform, which usually tend to be the least religious. There's Orthodox, which usually tend to be the most religious. And conservative in this sense is in the middle. Some are more Reform and some are more Orthodox. So because they wouldn't accept this Orthodox-minded person, we lost him to the conservative movement. And the conservative movement has the mixed seating. They don't have the mechitza, the separation between men and women. And this was one of the things that was brought up in the previous page that they tried to use to not convert one of the women because the person that converted her served in a mixed seating synagogue. So this is not even to say it was something wrong with the convert, but because we didn't like the guy who was probably at a conservative synagogue, they wanted to not convert him or nullify the conversion. But as we see from this, we're pushing people into the conservative movement because they can't afford to convert when you really don't have to have any sort of a fee. It's on a case-by-case basis, especially if someone can't afford it, it should not be costing them $5,000 if they're sincere, for sure. So thousands of people from the former Soviet Union live in Israel. Many have Jewish ancestry or Jewish spouses, yet they are halakhically not Jewish. These people and their children live in the Jewish state, speak Hebrew, serve in the military, yet the rabbinic establishment has not found a way to convert a large number of them. The rabbis insist that the converts become religiously observant, or at least pretend to become religiously observant for the sake of conversion. In the latter instance, these converts could run into the problem of having their conversions invalidated at some later date by a Bet Din, as happened to the woman in Ashdod. This is the Druckmann case again. The problem festers in Israel and is the source of heated controversy. The Orthodox Bet Din establishment does not know how to cope with a situation involving so many thousands of people, especially since many of those wishing to convert do not intend to become fully observant of Torah and mitzvot. The current policies of the Orthodox rabbinic Bet Din establishment are causing anguish to thousands of would-be converts and their families. They're turning would-be converts away from orthodoxy and preventing an untold number of Jewish children from being born due to drawn-out conversion procedures for women in their 30s and early 40s. They're delegitimizing Orthodox rabbis and converts who do not subscribe to the establishment positions. They're causing thousands of halakhic converts to fear that their and their children's halakhic status will be undermined. We must ask ourselves some serious questions. Number one, are these current policies relating to conversion absolutely required by Halacha, or are there other valid views that must be considered? And without giving you the explanation yet, I think we all know the answer. Number two, are current efforts to raise standards focusing on ritual mitzvot while actually lowering the standards of mitzvot relating to maintaining Jewish families, like the example we just gave of pushing people away. Is this treating converts and potential converts with compassion and other moral considerations? The third question, if the current policies are halakhically and morally deficient, how should we be addressing the issue of conversion to Judaism? Let us address these questions one by one. The first one, are these current policies relating to conversion absolutely required by Halacha, or are there other valid views that must be considered? The answer is, these policies are not absolutely mandated by Halacha, and in fact, they represent a reform of classic Halacha. Other valid halakhic positions are not only available, but are actually preferable. And there's one more paragraph that gives the Talmudic sources for this, but I'm going to move that to page 5. I'll repeat the question, and then we'll go in depth with the answer.